Oscar Bevis for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm here in Bushy in Watford, and I'm joined by Florian Marku. Florian, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good, good. Thank you for giving me some of your time. I just want to talk first off about Ultimate Boxer, September the 20th show in London. That's the next time that you're going to be out. Do you just want to tell us a little bit how that opportunity came about and who you're going to be fighting on that card and just some of the details?
Yes, I'm very happy that my next fight, it was so close to the other one. I had only 1 month rest. The Ultimate Boxer gave me the chance to fight there live on BT Sports, on 20 September in Intigo, in the O2 in the Intigo. I'm very happy. I fight with one experienced guy. His name is Miroslav Serban. He have 11-3 records. He have 2 titles, international, something like this. But he's a good fighter. I'm happy to fight with good fighters. I don't want to fight with journeymen, and I really can't wait to fight 20 September.
You said you're going to be live on BT Sport. Is this your first time across your 4 fights fighting on any platform live on TV?
Here in UK, yes. It's my first time. In Europe, I fight in many shows, live on television. But here in UK, I'm very happy because the UK fans are crazy about boxing and they love it and they're supporting, and I'm very happy to fight here live on the television.
What sort of stuff do you know about Ultimate Boxer as sort of the competition? Are you sort of aware of what it is?
Before I became the chance, I was watching it. I can tell you, I didn't know that one time I will have the chance to fight there. And they fight, these guys that they fight there, they give it all, in 3 rounds, but they pushing themselves. I have seen very, very good fights in there, and I am sure that also this show will be great, but I will steal the show. I know that the other guys, they will fight with their hearts, but I will steal the show. You will see what spectacle me and my fans will give to the UK fans.
Well, you say you steal the show, that's the attitude. So what can we expect from you then? Obviously 4 knockouts in 4 victories. Is that sort of what you're going for again?
Yes, I have 10 years. I never lose in my last 10 years. Before I was a kickboxer, now I'm in boxing. I'm very happy, and I promise to everybody that is watching me, I will make it 5-0 with 5 knockouts. And I hope if he doesn't run like the other ones, I will finish him till the round 3.
I was going to say, because your last fight was a bit of a strange one.
Yeah.
It sort of went a little bit viral. He was sort of showboating for the fight, sort of running around, putting his chin out there.
I knew it from the beginning. We was talking with my manager, Steve Goodwin, that this guy, he will not come to fight me. I knew it, and we start the fight. I go to give to the crowd the hard fight, and he was running. And he didn't want to fight. He wanted to escape, he wanted to survive in this fight. He didn't want to win or something, but thanks God, in the 4th round, I take the knockout and he stopped it. I think he couldn't get up, but he didn't want it. He knew it that he will go down again with a bad, worst way.
Has it been quite hard to match you with certain opponents?
I want to fight with everybody. A lot of guys here in UK, they have like 11-0, 15-0, and they fight with shit fighters. I am not like this. I want to fight with the best here in UK. And you will see, I hope they accept me to fight. I will fight with the best. I don't care. I am 4-0, 5-0 in September. I want to fight with the best. I want to make a lot of fights. I don't want to fight 4 times in a year, 3 times in a year. I want to make 10 fights in a year like they was making before the champions, and not fighting only for the records like they does now in this time, the fighters. I want to give to the crowd hard fights.
Well, to any boxers who are watching this, they know how to get hold of you. You say you're willing to fight anyone, so that's good.
Everybody who is in welterweight division is better, or change division or stay there and accept me to fight.
Okay, now I want to strip it right back, go completely back to the start. You're Albanian. Do you just want to tell us a little bit about you growing up? And obviously you got fighting background before boxing, but right early on in your career,
yes,
you grew up in Albania.
I grew up in Albania, then I moved to Greece for some years. I started fighting there. I have more than 100 fights in kickboxing. I lose only 3 times all my career. In 106 fights, I have only 3 losses. But the Albanian fans, they are crazy. They support me a lot. I love them all. They have supported me all over the world, in Switzerland, Germany, Greece, here in UK. Also now I have also a lot of UK fans, English fans. You know that they writing me and we are with you. You have win new fans, and I'm happy of that because I live here and I want to stay here a lot.
So you're obviously a fighting man with your kickboxing and now the boxing. Was life tough growing up in Albania and then moving to Greece? Was you sort of getting in fights as a kid maybe, or?
You know, I wasn't a quiet kid, you know, but I prefer to show how skillful I am inside the ring and not outside. You know, it's easy to fight outside, but it's hard inside the ring to show heart, you know. Everybody can fight outside, but inside of the ring, you need a lot of heart.
And you said that during your kickboxing, which is where you started, you had 106 fights and 3 losses. So why the move to boxing then? Because obviously 106 fights, 103 wins. What was the need to move to boxing?
Before it was K1, after it was Glory, but now they make it like nobody pays. How the money is not anymore good in kickboxing. You know, it was MMA. I start MMA fighting. I have 7-0 in MMA, but I operate my hands 2 times, and I couldn't grab anymore, and that's why I stopped. Because after kickboxing, I changed. I go to MMA. I had 7-0 all with knockouts in MMA, and I operate my hand and I stop it. And now boxing is my life.
See, when I heard that you had a background in kickboxing, I'd done a bit of research, and you said in an interview that your dream was to fight in the UFC.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Sort of, if you're looking at it now, is sort of boxing the future for you? Is there perhaps no chance that you'll go back to MMA or kickboxing? Is it just sort of tunnel vision for boxing?
You never know what happened in the future, but now my target is to be a world champion in boxing, and then we see what the future brings us.
In terms of being a world champion in boxing, you're 30 years old, sort of...
26.
26?
Yes.
Where did I get 30 from?
I don't know.
I'm not sure where I got that from. That's my mistake. So
No.
you're 26 years old.
Yes.
So actually, that's better then, because I was going to say, sort of, what sort of time limit and the time frame that you're putting on yourself? Obviously, only 4-0, but sort of, is there any certain fights or levels you want to step up to in the next 12 to 18 months?
I want. We have a lot of offers, you know, for big managers here in UK. We are watching it with my team, with my trainer Josh Burnham. You know that we work extremely hard to become the best. And trust me, if you ask the guys that I spar with, they know my name. The UK fans, they doesn't know me, but they will learn me and they will see how big heart I have and how I fight my fights.
You said you working with Steve Goodwin. Is that you still?
Yes.
Is he still your manager?
Yeah, of course. Steve is my manager. He's a really good guy. He have helped me a lot with my fights because we had a lot of problems to close fight. A lot of guys doesn't want to give their 0 away. You know, they are afraid to put their 0 on the table. I don't care about my 0. If they beat me, then I am not for boxing. But they want to. They play games. You understand, with the people with their fans. They have like 10-0 and they have 10 shit fighters. I don't want this. I want good fighters and with good opponents.
What sort of got your name out there and got you quite known in England is the fact that, and I've heard Steve Goodwin say it in an interview as well, is that you actually sold out York Hall in 24 hours. That doesn't go unnoticed in this country, ticket sales. So since that night, has there been promoters perhaps on the phone and certain people asking for you?
Trust me, everybody. You know, a lot of every promoter that England had, they ring us and they ask us to work with them. But we are looking everything step by steps. I have time. I'm not rushing nothing, and we are working with them to take the better deals.
You said to me earlier that the Albanian fans are crazy, but when you come over to fight in the UK at York Hall, did you sort of expect the support that you got to be as big as it was?
Yes, I was expecting it because it was not the first time. Here in UK it was my first time, but all over the world that I have fought, like Switzerland, Germany, Italy, wherever, there was a lot of Albanians supporting.
So a lot of these Albanian fans don't live in England, they're sort of coming from Albania to watch you.
Many they live here and many they come from Europe or outside.
Okay, so now we're here in Watford. You said your trainer's Josh Burnham. How did that sort of come about? Because I know your record, you said your first boxing fight was in Germany.
Yes.
And now you've had 3 in the UK. So what was the idea of, what was the motive behind moving and living in here and working with Josh?
Always was my dream. England I like the English mentality. You know, they are strong. They like fights. They like boxing. They like uh, good fights. You understand? And boxing is big in England. I think the biggest place that you can grow if you are a talent and you can make something is England, and that is my dream, to grow up here and to make a big career.
Is there anything that you're looking at in terms of fulfilling a dream in England? Any arenas that you'd like to fight at? Any belts that you've got in mind? Or
My dream is, and I will succeed 100%. Albania never had an Albanian champion, world champion, and I will be the first one. Remember this interview, you will see it after a long time, and you will remember me.
in a couple of years' time, we'll refer back to this. Yeah.
Yes.
What's boxing like in Albania? You said obviously you say there's never been a world champion from Albania.
Yes, but we had a lot of good fighters. We are like DNA. I think we are very tough. I think they know everybody. They know about us. We had a bad life back there. You know, problems, wars, many things that make us strong. But we have a lot of talents. You know that. The government doesn't help us, and we go somewhere in other countries to look after us.
Was that the reason you moved to Greece then?
Yeah,
for opportunities?
I moved to Greece, and I raced when I was 5 years old. You know, I didn't know nothing about Albania. My family take me.
So, we're talking about boxing in Albania.
Yes.
In the UK, there's shows every weekend. You know, York Hall, O2, wherever there's always shows up and down the country. Is there many boxing shows in Albania?
No,
None
really.
at all?
Maybe it's one show in 4 months. It's weak. The boxing is very weak. But we have a lot of fighters, the Albanians, that they fight all over the world, you know, that they live, but they're representing the Albanian flag.
Where do these Albanian fighters sort of go to base themselves, and where do obviously you've come to England, but where do most of them sort of move to and look for opportunities?
Most of them, they have also, I know some fighters that they have also with Mushroom. They sign, you know, they live in New York. I know a lot of guys in Australia, you know, that they are in high level. You know, we had also many European champions,
yeah.
You know, like Robin Krasniqi, Luan Krasniqi, and these guys. They was in Germany and all over the Europe. So but not in Albania. Nobody is raised in Albania, fight in Albania, and became, because nobody. It's not the place to be a champion, you know, in that time.
What sort of sports do people prefer in Albania then? Is there sort of something that overshadows boxing that young kids look at in Albania and say, that's what I want to be instead of a boxer? Is there sort of any other sports that they look at?
Football, I think
yeah.
more. Yeah, the football is the most known other sport. You know, the boxing is not so famous.
Is there anyone in your family that sort of led you to box? Or?
My grandfather was a champion, yes. I didn't know, I learned this when I was 16 years old. I didn't know, you know, I started boxing when I was 11, and when I grew up, my family told me.
Did he box professionally?
Yes.
Okay.
No professionally.
Okay.
In tournaments, you know, like before many years, like 50 years.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to talk a little bit about your social media following. I've heard someone call you the Albanian David Beckham before. That's what I've heard. I know sort of social media isn't the be-all and end-all of life. It's not everything, but you've got 300,000 Instagram followers. That's more. I think that's around the same as Billy Joe Saunders, who in this country is, you know, one of the most well-known,
yes,
one of the most well-respected fighters. You've got more followers than Callum Smith and fighters like that. So, how did that sort of come about?
You know, I have made a lot of fights that I was saying to you before. You know, the people in Europe, they know my name. In UK, they didn't know me because I'm new here, but they will learn me. I have a lot of fights with big names in kickboxing.
So that's where it came from. The majority
yes,
of
exactly.
support came from
the
kickboxing.
Most followers
right?
come from this fight, and they support me.
And you got some pretty famous friends too, I believe.
Yeah, I have some football players. Albanians, you know, we are connected all over the world with each other. I have good friends, yes, also here, football players.
Obviously, I just heard that you're friends with Granit Xhaka, but he's sort of Swiss, and I know there's a sort of Swiss and Albanian, a sort of Kosovan connection between. Do you just want to tell us a little bit about that?
Look, Albania and Kosovo, we are one, you know,
okay.
Same language, same everything. The only thing that separates us is the flag. The flag is like politics, you know. They put it to Kosovo only to separate it because it was the Serbia and all the countries together, and everyone take their flag, and that's why they put the flag to Kosovo. But we are one. You will never see a Kosovo and Albania say, no, I'm from Kosovo, you're from Albania. Albania is one country, one language, and we are one.
And you're also a big advocate of anti-racism.
Yes.
I saw a statement that you put out, actually, I think it was a few months back, where there was an incident at a show that you fought on, and you were saying, I'm not sure, was there a racism incident, and you were saying sort of that's when you come out and said how much of an anti-racism advocate that you are and that you want to be, and that you don't need to see this in boxing. Can you just tell us a little bit about what happened that night, for those who don't know?
I think one girl started screaming, but it was all a lie, about I'm against racism. I'm coming from a poor country, that we don't love. Here in UK, I'm very happy with the people. They doesn't see the man from his color or from his country, They see you like a person, and that is that matter, Not because you are from China. I am racism. Everybody eat the same and sleep the same. I'm against that.
So if
you're
you
a good person,
if you win a world title, then we can call you British. Yeah.
Maybe. Yes.
And so you're fighting at welterweight at the moment. Is that sort of set in stone for you, or is there any chance? Or when you were in kickboxing and MMA, I'm not sure about the weight classes. Did you sort of weigh the same as you in the welterweight division?
No, I was fighting at 155 pounds in kickboxing.
Yeah.
But boxing is a little bit different, with many rounds. It's more.
Is there anyone that you're looking at? And actually, if I'm to ask you about the welterweight division, is there any fighters at the top at the moment that you look at, you sort of really want to fight in the future, or?
I know some of them. I don't want them to give the chance. I'd say their names. They know that I'm coming for them. They know very soon that I will be against them. But I hope they accept my fight because we have made a lot of requests and they doesn't fight. I hope they start fighting with me and to give to the fans the fight that they want.
Of course, now you're in boxing, you want to make a sort of success of boxing. What was the transition like from you? Because was it hard from MMA or kickboxing, or was it quite easy? Because it's obviously still a fight, but there's a lot of different styles.
It was easy because all my life I have boxed. I was a kickboxer, but my good style it was a boxing. Because my trainer in Greece was a boxing trainer, and it was easy, very easy for me. But we have a lot of things to develop, to change, with my trainer Josh, because it's not the same from MMA to from MMA to box. But we're changing every. Josh, come here, man.
Yeah, I just want to bring you in, Josh. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you first spoke to Florian about this opportunity, and what sort of you see in Florian and how far you think he can go?
So I used to be trained by Don Charles, and I started working out of his gym as a trainer once I retired. And Florian came to the gym. Initially, me and Don were sharing the training, and I kind of took over, and then now I'm here, doing my own thing. But I've not yet met many people that have the kind of dedication and everything it kind of takes to be a champion like Florian has. He's got good backing, a good following, he can fight, he can punch, he can box as well. People haven't quite seen that yet, his boxing ability. But I think of course he can go all the way. If anyone's going to, it's definitely going to be Florian, But we've got, as you said, we're working day in, day out, still trying to develop. As he said to you already, his natural fighting style was boxing. But we still had to kind of, tweak a few little rough edges from the MMA and the kickboxing that don't quite fit into boxing.
It's I know obviously you said he's so dedicated and he works day in, day out, but is the following sort of the hardest thing to build? So the fact that you've already got the following, is it sort of the work now is all on him? There's sort of he doesn't have to do any sort of much promotional work.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all down to him now.
I reckon he should take a second job as a publicist for people. He's an expert on it, honestly. Sometimes it'll take 20 minutes to get one photo, but he's good. The following definitely helps. It's definitely got to be the hardest bit about boxing is selling tickets, which obviously Florian doesn't really have to worry about. Which definitely makes his life easier and my life easier as well. And he can just focus a lot more time on training and
Obviously, Florian, you fought on the Nathan Gorman, Daniel Dubois bill. You sort of quite far down the card, considering you told me you wasn't on live TV also, sort of how many tickets would you have got for a show like that? Because obviously
I think
it's
it was
quite a big
close
show at the
to
O2.
800 tickets I sold.
All
Alone.
sold?
Yes, 800.
And all gone completely, all 800 sold?
Yeah. I sold 800 tickets, yes.
So of course, for someone so far down the card to have sold 800 tickets, sort of, what's the limit? Selling out arenas perhaps in a few years?
Absolutely. No doubt. I mean, we already kind of ticked off the York Hall, so we went there twice and then we didn't want to go back there. But yeah, who knows? I mean, he's only getting bigger and bigger day by day, and he's, everyone's talking about him. I go to all the gyms, everyone's kind of asking about Florian, and so yeah, it's following his
I'm
growing.
happy, but for the UK fans, because they love fighters that they fight. They doesn't like fighters that they run or technical, and that is.
You want to be entertained.
Exactly, yeah. And this is the good thing here in UK. If you are a talent, if you are good and you can fight, you can be big and famous, and the people will love you. That's why I love, UK.
You said, Josh, that gyms you've been to, people are talking about him. Is there anyone that sort of asked you for sparring, any names that will know? And Florian, have you sparred anyone that we'll be familiar with?
Everyone, I think as well, because he's come from MMA, and there's a lot of people from MMA who come and talk the talk, and they kind of can't quite back up. I think he's kind of one of the first people who's actually backing up what he's been saying. So he's kind of been put on a bit of a pedestal a little bit, and everyone's talking about it. Everyone kind of fancies to go. But we've also struggled for finding sparring. We've struggled for opponents. So it's not been as easy as that. Some people want to give it a go and try it, and once they find out once, then we struggle to get them back, unfortunately. But
do you let him have much of a say in who you fight? Because obviously you said you want to fight anyone. Is there sort of a point where you have to say, rein him in a bit and say, no, I don't want to fight him, or are you sort of open to just anything?
I guess every coach's job is to protect a fighter from himself. He'll never say no to anyone. He'll never say, and I do believe he'll be a world champion, 100%. I think all in good time. He's already shown. He's already fighting people that people with 4 fights wouldn't fight. Miroslav Serban, or whatever his name is. They wouldn't fight Jan Marcelic, who was 3-0, all by knockout. So he's already kind of advancing ahead a little bit. But yeah, definitely, if I thought a fight was too much for him, which we haven't come across yet, I would say it's not happening.
Okay, Florian, Josh, 20 minutes. Quite a lot of stuff in there. Is there anything that you'd like to add, or a message to the UK fans, or perhaps any fighters who are watching?
Thank you, everybody that's supporting me. I want to thank my Albanian fans all over the world. I want to thank the UK for supporting me also. And trust me, I will give you the fights that you want. Florian Marku. We see you in 20 September in O2 Indigo, in Ultimate Boxer.
Florian, thank you very much.
Thank you.